Hi, Raf. So nice to talk to you again. How have you been?
Very well, thank you.
And I'm very excited to have this opportunity to bring back our guest to celebrate our 1 year of making connections and having conversations in the HARP community. And thank you very much for contributing a video to the project. And I just want to see what are your thoughts on having a community that is global, like the HARP community, and participating in a project that are potentially going to connect different pockets of harpists around the world? What do you think are maybe some of the valuable things that potentially can come out of this?
Oh, that's a lot of questions.
Compound question.
Yeah, and first of all, sorry about the noise. My laptop is doing something in the background, which is video editing, of course. So you get this fan noise, and I ordered a new one of the newest and latest and greatest ones, but it hasn't arrived yet. They still have to, I don't know, like chisel these little chips together. It's been an exciting year for the HARP community, because I think what we see there is some sort of many initiatives that have been spawned by by COVID-19, by the pandemic. I think a large part of the HARP community is now very well versed with online tools and Zooming as we do now, and teaching over Zoom, recording over Zoom, or whatever other video platform you're using. And I think it's really established itself as, first of all, a new art form. Live streaming concerts were not as common as they are now, and to the point where you really have to advertise it, because there are just so many of them. And also just casually communicating, like we set up this conference just because I was too lazy to type on a Sunday evening. And so I think it's really bringing people together to answer one of your questions, and to answer one that you didn't even ask. You did a great part in in fostering this, in bringing people together. And I see that with my own videos. I don't get a lot of hits. I don't get like thousands and thousands of hits, because it's not, people don't randomly click on it. But the ones who do, I get very, very detailed feedback from them, and they are very picky with what they click on and what they add to their playlists. And I think you've done a great part in bringing some of us together, and really harpists that I would not otherwise have heard of.
That's really great to hear. And I remember Nadia mentioning that, one of the things that she learned to do in the pandemic was to set up the live stream with your help. And then she has been doing live stream concert. And I think it has made the art form more accessible to more people in many ways. I don't think it would be easy for me to necessarily attend a lot of harp concert in person. And the pandemic has really opened my opportunities to be able to expose myself to even more different varieties of music, because I can participate in these concerts virtually.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think it's the same as being in the room, but at the same time, I think it plays a vital role in making the instrument more accessible and well known to the general public.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like an independent art form. I did one concert in last November in the town of Hamburg, which I live in a reasonably close distance, and so I did both. I did a live concert, and then I just propped up my smartphone and hit a button on the Facebook app, and I streamed the same thing at the same time, just because I could, just because I wanted to. And it enabled some people who wrote me later or commented on the chat in the live stream, which I couldn't read because I was playing the concert at that time. And they told me that they were going to come to the concert but couldn't for some reason. They're like, I don't know, they had some things to do for their kids, or they were in a traffic jam or something like that, and they couldn't attend the concert as it was, but were able to listen to either the live stream or the recording of the live stream. So it really opens up the opportunities. And I'm operating on such a tiny scale, but I still feel that I reach the people that I want to reach.
Yeah, and I think sometimes that's the power of some of the things that we have been very good at in terms of being an adaptive human race, that we're pretty good at going with the punches and be able to,
we have to be. Yeah.
Take advantage of what's coming up and be able to tailor that to suit not just the environment, but also our audience. And I think it's good for a lot of audience to have the ability to say, yeah, I might miss the event right there and then, but I can catch up later. And I think that is just such a great thing to be able to offer people who are interested in the music. And to circle back to a point of getting, people that are very discerning in what they view. And I think one of the things I personally notice is harp music is not, I don't know, not light entertainment, not necessarily something that is going to go viral all of a sudden. It takes sort of time to cultivate and for people to discover and appreciate. But I think that's what makes it so special too. It's not a fast food art form. I don't think it is. That is something I have learned. That's a good way of
putting it. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. And like I said, we don't have 2 million clicks, and you could get 2 million clicks by, I don't know, by like making pizza dough half naked or something, and that's what you get the clicks for. But that's not what I want really, and also people wouldn't probably click on that anyway. But what I'm saying is the relatively few people who click on our content this is a very discerning audience. It's a very I don't want to say discriminating, but very picky kind of people who really think about what they want to spend their time with. That's my experience.
Mm-hmm. And I think there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I always tell people that time and our attention is a limited resource. So if we're going to have to invest that into something that we're going to want to enjoy, we might as well be a little picky. But it's getting tricky, I have to admit, because now that I've discovered a pretty big collection, well, for me, 24 guests is not a small number, because I know maybe 2 prior to starting the project. And now I'm finding myself, always trying to figure out, okay, what's new coming from them, or catching up with what they have created in the past too. That's another thing that I really appreciate about having something like YouTube, is you have some kind of archive that you can go look back to.
I even do that with my own videos, because sometimes I do not know what I played 5 or 10 years ago. That's I don't know, that's probably in the nature of things. But I was going to ask, how many people did you interview? And you said 24?
Yeah, 24.
Yeah. Wow, that's a lot. Like that's one every other week, basically.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing, and I think a lot of that has to do with the very enthusiastic Scottish harpist group that keeps sending us to their friends. I have this joke in the team that maybe we'll get to talk to all the harpists in Scotland, and then by the time I get through all of them, maybe their kids will be old enough to play the harp, and we'll talk to all of them. But yeah, 24, and I think we covered quite a lot of, right? We cover quite a lot of country too. We have New Zealand, we have 2 in Germany, actually 3, because Babette is also there. I was thinking about you and Nadia. Mm-hmm. We have some in Italy, we have Canada, we have some in US. So yeah, it's pretty not a bad start at all for year 1. I didn't know where this was going to go. I started with approaching my teacher. I thought, if I can do 1 interview a month, I'll be happy. And yeah, it turns out that we have been able to do more than that. So
and I have to admit, I still have to catch up on on some of them. I haven't seen all of your interviews, but again, because I want to take the time to focus on it when I do.
Definitely.
Yeah. So to sum up, it was a really great initiative that you started, and it's like sometimes we have these little hubs that connect different things together, like or different people that would not otherwise have had the opportunity, and that's really something that I appreciate. So I hope you will still have the patience to continue this.
I hope so too. It is a lot of work, but I'm really enjoying it, and I also would like to keep in contact with all my guests in the past. I think there is so much about this instrument that we can talk about. So why just stop at one conversation?
That's true. Yeah, sure.
Well, thank you very much for participating in our 1-year birthday celebration.
It was an honor.